Hi there, this is Umaira, and I'll be presenting on the topic on how to prevent foodborne illnesses for my subject, that is field placement. So first, since this topic is about food safety compliance and how crucial it is, we'll start with explaining how food safety works and what it basically is. So it's commonly recognized that the food sector or any industry really demands some unique requirements due to few reasons, which includes how food can easily spread illnesses or diseases to people and for its potential causes, which is the reason why customers want to know how the food that they're having, how secure is it, and what are the sources they are getting it from. So to make sure that these rules are followed, there are some food safety legislations which are government based and have three tiers basically, which come under the federal, provincial, and municipal. And to ensure that these food services and industries and businesses are maintained safe, all these food chains and restaurants must abide by these laws and regulations, which are made by these legislation. So it was the Canadian Food Inspection Agency. It was basically founded in April 1997, and it is made up of food inspectors from Health Canada, Agriculture and Agri-Food, and Department of Fisheries and Oceans. So the Food and Drugs Act is basically the primary piece of regulations and laws that comes under federation level, and it is marketed in Canada so that it is adhered and restricted to set forth and implemented in all the restaurants in Ontario. And to maintain the security of human health, it basically examines the issues including all food changes and the coloring used, or how the production practices are done and how it is distributed, as all these factors really affect in these contaminations. So provincial public health inspectors, they basically are enforced the food premises regulation. These are enforced by public health inspectors directly through routine compliance and inspections with all, including all food premises. And the rule addresses employees' hygiene in all the food premises, which they make sure how the cleaning and sanitizing is followed, equipments, food temperatures, whether they're handled at right temperature zones, and their handling so that there's no cross contamination, and also other aspects of food premises that are supposed to be followed. So the normal things that rules and guidelines that the public health inspectors would look for includes a variety of things, including, as I already talked about, unsafe food handling procedures, which is a common way of cross contaminations of food, problems with rule breaking, since that affects and changes a lot of things affecting food too, and inquiries into foodborne illnesses and outbreaks, inquiries into consumer complaints themselves, and the need for action in the case of food recalls, fires, floods, and other emergencies that could possibly happen. And so if any public health inspector would find during his inspection that there are health hazards or these rules are not followed, they could anytime immediately close the food premises or issue offense notices, which is basically giving them a ticket under the Provincial Offences Act, and immediately close it for not meeting the requirements of the food premises regulation. So now we'll talk about those foodborne illnesses that are caused and their symptoms and how they can be prevented basically. So it basically is caused by ingestion or consumption of any food or drink which could be contaminated by any living bacteria or their own toxins, inorganic chemicals, poisonous plants, or the poisons released or delivered by some animals or microorganisms. So consumption of contaminated food, these could lead to such illnesses. And basically how it happens is the food that has been contaminated by any bacteria, viruses, parasites, or chemicals, and all of these things can be labeled or called as contaminant. So there could be different causes and types of contaminants, like chemical contamination, physical contamination, allergens, and or even microbiological. So here are some symptoms of foodborne illness like fever, nausea, dehydration, upset stomach, cramps, diarrhea, etc. So here are some guidelines that are should be used to prevent these foodborne illnesses, like always keeping your allergy sheet to an updated in a binders or in the menu itself, so that any recipe modification is done to the ingredients, it is always known. And if you are not sure of any packaged food that you're providing, do let the customer know that you're not sure about the content, or always serve them a meal that you are confident about the ingredients, which could help not risking them having a foodborne illness. So this could be also delivered through some education and training. Food allergies should be understood by management and the kitchen crew and the service team firstly, as it is very crucial, as the food is delivered and bought from them itself, and they should always also understand while preparing and cooking meals that they also have to strictly adhere to the documented recipes so that they don't mix up or cause problems. One of the other things that can be done is to prevent it. It would be having a policy. So food establishment management needs to have policy in place for informing customers about the ingredients, which could be always done to avoid having such allergens. And the foundation of the policy must also be ensuring consumer safety and receiving accurate information. The communication method should be in the view of printing the ingredients on the menus, using food allergy and sensitivity charts always, using recipe binders, and choosing a designated employee which could be responsible enough, and always check with guests in advance. So basically, in summary, I would say always clean. The main thing is cleaning, sanitizing, so basically washing also hands often and sanitizing and maintaining hygiene, separating food and not letting them cross-contaminate. While cooking, cook to temperatures which are considered in the safe zone and in the correct temperatures, and while refrigerating, it should be chilled promptly. Here are some 3 test questions, which is, what are some common symptoms of a foodborne illness that we just talked about? Name the types of causes leading to foodborne illness, which would be the types of contaminants I talked about, and what is basically a contaminant. Here are the references that I used, and thank you so much. That would be it.